Good morning. Happy Monday. My whiny cat's wanting outside, and I've been working so very hard this morning that I decided to get up and take a break. It's almost lunchtime anyway. Well, lunchtime for me because I do lunch early. That started at the sheriff's office, okay? We started talking about lunch at 9 o'clock in the morning. And by 11 o'clock, we knew what we wanted and where we were going, and all we had to do was place the order. So at my new company, everybody's like, oh, get out of the way. It's 11 o'clock. Tracy's going for lunch. Look, I eat breakfast early, okay? So I'm hungry. Y'all know what I did yesterday? I cooked a lot yesterday. I made, like little plates, you know, for me to eat this week. And I cooked a pork roast with my carnitas seasonings that I've shown on a video before. You would know there's an ambulance or a fire truck coming when I'm trying to make a video here. Oh my gosh, it's in a plane. Oh my gosh, I need to move to like Wyoming. Is there a part of Wyoming that doesn't get snow? Because I don't want cold weather. I just want to be out in the middle of nowhere so it's quiet every now and then. Sheesh. Anyway, it must be a good one. There's more. May God be with them all. Anyway, I cooked the pork roast, and then I took a bunch of vegetables. I took yellow squash and zucchini. Which, is that just green squash? I mean, is zucchini just a fancy name for green squash? I don't know. I'm just trying to be funny here, okay? Carrots and little potatoes. And I roasted them, oven roasted. And they're delicious. So that's what I had for dinner last night. And that's what I'm going to have for lunch today and tomorrow. And probably the next day. I made about 3 or 4 plates full of stuff. So it's going to last me a few days, right? Hope so. But y'all, I just got to tell you that, okay, so y'all know I love the girls. And I love when they come over in the evenings and we can spend a few minutes together, okay? Love it. Well, on Thursday at work, I was having a little tiny bit of anxiety because I was working from home on Friday, and I was like, oh dear, what if she's coming over and knocking on my door all day? So I created a sign for my door that said working, and I stuck it to the door. Well, guess what? She never came over. So I'm wondering, because I kind of sort of, you know, when I told the snitches get stitches story, but I told on Phoenix in a way to her mother, and I said she snuck out at 8:30 last night and was over here ringing my doorbell, and I was getting out of the shower, so I didn't go to the door. And she looked at her, and I think some things changed at that moment, because what Phoenix will do is wait till her mommy leaves the house and she sneaks out. So, Mommy must have went home and tore some people up, if you know what I mean, because she never came over during the day on Friday, and neither one of them came over until like, I don't know, 7:30 Friday evening. It was perfect. I was through with work. I was through with all the stuff I had to do. Oh, that's the night I think that tonight's the night. That's the night that I went out and she thought I had moved. Yeah, that's that night. But anyway, Saturday I put a sign on the door that said cleaning. She never came to the door all day. And so that night, they come over about 7:30. And I went out and we sat and chatted and talked and acted silly. And Naomi has learned how to crochet, and she does it quite well. Cut off again. That's what he said. Anyway, yeah, she said she crocheted her sister a dress, And, well, she was trying to crochet herself a dress, and it was too big, so her sister has it, and she has made all kinds of stuff. Now, I haven't seen any of these finished products, so they might be exaggerating just a tad, but she does crochet quite well because, okay, so back to where I was. So I told her, I said, I have a lot of crochet material, and I tried learning how to crochet myself, okay? I mean, I didn't try to crochet myself. I tried learning how. And I don't have the patience anymore. And my hands do be weak, okay? Because I've had surgery on both hands. The carpal tunnel, don't you know? The trigger finger, and then this weird surgery on this one, compartment syndrome or something, I don't know. Anyway, my hands don't be working like they used to, okay? I said I have a lot of crochet material I'll give you. So I got up Saturday morning and I packed up a bunch of my crochet material and I went and sat it by the door because I figured they'd be over first thing Saturday. Well, I put a sign on the door that said I was cleaning and I went about my day. Do you know that neither one of them ever came over all day long? And finally, it was 7-something that night, Phoenix came over, and I opened the door, and I grabbed the bags of crochet stuff, and she said, oh, I came to see if you had the stuff for Naomi. And I just, I said, well, go get her, and, I'll give it to her. So we were walking down the driveway across the street. Well, about that time, she takes off running, and she goes in the door screaming. And I see her brother stick his head out. And I don't think he knew that she had escaped again. But she was yelling something like, Naomi, Miss Tracy, crochet, something, something. And he looked at me, and I said, did you get all that? And he said, not a bit. Bless her heart. So about that time, they both came running out, and I gave her the crochet stuff. Well, she takes I had some big fuzzy yarn, and she takes that out and immediately starts crocheting with her fingers and said she was going to make a blanket with it. And she walked me back across the street, and we sat on the stoop and talked for a few minutes. And she already had a chain that was probably, I don't know, 4 feet long that she just kept doing. And I said, well, how do you turn it around? And she showed me how to turn it around and keep going backwards. And I was like, holy cow, this girl can crochet. So it is legit that she can crochet. So I gave her my crochet sticks. I don't know what they're called. Hooks? Yeah, they're called hooks, Tracy. And a book that I had. And I didn't give her all my thread. I mean, I'm not crazy. Because I like to loom. Because that's easier on the old lady's hands, don't you know? But I don't like to crochet. So I gave her all that stuff, and I kept some of the stuff for myself, because I do like to make hats and stuff for gnomes when I'm in that gnome making mode, which I haven't been in a while. Moving on. Okay, Sunday, they never came over. Never, not all day, never. Never showed up. So I haven't even put a sign on my door today, because apparently, maybe between the coloring books I gave them and the crochet stuff I gave them, and their mama probably tearing into some hides over there about the little one escaping. Yeah, I was like, well, see, that's when tattletelling comes in handy, okay? I know there's times when you have to tattletale, and there's times when you don't. But in my opinion, if you're 6 and your sister's 9, and your sister says a bad word, but you said a bad word the day before and your sister didn't tell on you, that's the kind of stuff you have to be like. You have to let that go. Or she's going to tell on you for what you said the day before, and then you're both going to be in trouble. So some things you got to keep. you know, between sisters, okay? And then some things you gotta tell your mom, or you gotta have your neighbor tell your mom like you're escaping. I'm a tattletale. I'm gonna get stitches. No, I'm not. Anyway, other than all that, someone asked or said that something about me getting back to 2 videos a day or something. I can't remember what it was exactly. But I tell you what, it was very stressful on me trying to do 2 videos a day because I can't always come up with topics twice a day. Okay? Sometimes it's hard to come up with a topic once a day. So, you know, let's not forget that I do work for a living. And making a video is not quite as cut and dry as you think, because I record it and I get cut off, and then I have to pick up where I left off, and then I have to go and edit it, especially when I'm walking Penelope, who's laying on her bed asleep. She's been having a morning, okay? She's been wanting to be held. But anyway, like when I'm walking Penelope and I'll be saying go pee-pee 42 times. I cut that out of the video because no one wants to hear me say go pee-pee. However, if I could have made a video at 3:30 this morning of me telling her to go pee-pee, that might have been funny, because it wasn't funny for me though. We could not go out last night at bedtime to do the business because it was raining sideways, yes. And, yeah, she was like, I am not going out there. And I said, okay, if you wake me up in the middle of the night to go, I'll understand, because normally she doesn't. Well, she did. She woke me up, and I was like, cool. So we get up and we go outside, and she does her business, and we come back in and go back to bed. Well, just a few minutes later, she's laying on me, which means she needs to go outside. So I'm like, oh, okay, maybe she needs to do something else. So we get up and we go back outside, where she just sits and stares at the moon and the stars and the skies. And then that wakes Gracie up, and if Gracie wakes up, she thinks she's hungry. And I was not very happy at 3:37 when we went back out there, because I eventually had to go get my shoes on because everything was wet and gross. I had to get my shoes on so I could go out and pick her up and bring her back in so I could go back to bed, because she just wouldn't budge. She was just sitting there staring. What are we staring at? If I knew what we were staring at, I might stare with you, but I've no clue. Anyway, I hope y'all have a great day. Remember, I love you. Jesus loves you. I hope he's coming back soon, because people be crazy. And I will talk to you on the next Tracy Tries, okay? Whenever that is, okay? Love you, mean it. Toodles, my noodles, and stay silly, my friends. Goodbye.